if you separate Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan, and they were never teammates, forget about the championships and all, they were never teammates. And Scottie was on another team as his own self, individual, right? Mm-hmm. And Michael Jordan was not attached to Scottie. Do you think that he would be a first ballot Hall of Famer? Yes or no?
Do I think Scottie would be a first ballot Hall of Famer?
Right.
I guess he could. I mean, that's hard to say. I mean, you put them in a situation where
he's trying to take a safe route with your answer.
Because I'm saying, are you saying he would be playing with another good player?
I'm just asking you. If there was no Scottie and MJ, we know they attached to the hip. They always, when they talk about Scottie, they always gotta bring up MJ.
To the hip, though.
They do. Not from MJ, because we know that what he was gonna do individually, regardless of who we saw what he did before Scottie came along. I think because Scottie came into the league and was matched up with a guy like Michael Jordan, look at all the success they had together. My question is that brother, in your opinion, would he be a first ballot Hall of Famer without Michael Jordan?
Based on his skill set and his ability, he was a baller. He was good when he came out of college. So he was young when he got with Michael, and he developed there with the Bulls. But you can't take away his gifts and his abilities, man. Yeah, I believe he could very well be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Yeah,
I personally feel like this. I think that he would. It's no question he would be a Hall of Famer. I don't think he would be a first ballot Hall of Famer without Michael Jordan being attached to his name, man. I mean, he came. I know he had those couple of years, or like almost 2 years, when MJ was out, right when he retired the first time. And I'm not gonna say that Scottie didn't have some success in that time, even though of course he was not Michael Jordan. He was not gonna lead them to, be a leader to the point of getting them to, the championship or anything like that. That wasn't expected, right? But all I'm saying is that when you look at MJ, just like when you look at guys like KD, when you look at guys like a LeBron, when you look at certain talents, individual talent, I feel like Michael Jordan, regardless of if he had a guy like Scottie Pippen as a teammate or not, I think that brother, if he was on a great team or a bad team, he would get the individual accolades or have some of the success individually that would put him in the Hall of Fame as a first ballot. I think that with Scottie, though, I'm not saying that he didn't have individual talent on both sides of the floor, but he just doesn't strike me as a guy who, if you just put him on a team and he is the main guy, the main go-to guy, or he's not with a supreme talent like an MJ, is he going to have the individual accolades, the individual successes to make him a shoe-in for first ballot Hall of Fame? I don't think so. That's me personally. I don't think so. That's all I'm saying.
It all depends on who he was playing with. Because the bottom line, if he was playing with Magic Johnson, if he was playing with Karl Malone and on that team, hey, they could have won a title, possibly.
It's not about title, because the Hall of Fame is really not just about the titles. It's also about what you're doing as an individual, right?
I totally understand, but what I'm saying is,
Tracy McGrady at one point was on the Orlando Magic. I think they won 13 games that year. But T-Mac was T-Mac.
Okay, well, what happened with Scottie Pippen, man, when Michael Jordan left?
You tell me.
They got to, I believe, the Eastern Conference finals, or got close to it.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
And they did really well. I mean, I think they might have come within one game of moving on. And I'll have to look that up, but I believe that's true. And, when you look at Scottie's game, he was a top defender. He would have been a top defender no matter where he played, okay?
Right,
Number two, fast break, open floor. The guy was long. He could jump. He could glide. And he had those abilities when he came out of college. So it's all in who was in the development stage. Obviously, what Michael Jordan did in helping him to develop was major, right?
Right.
Now, it's a possibility he might not have been the first
I know,
Hall of Famer, the first round.
I understand it, but basically,
but I believe that he still would have been a great player. That is what I believe.
Safe answers, man. You're saying, basically my pops is saying that he would be a first ballot Hall of Famer regardless. Michael Jordan, no Michael Jordan. I'm saying I don't think so. Well, so I'll let you guys decide. I'll let you guys answer the question.
Yeah, they can talk about it, man. But all you gotta do is look at his game. He wasn't a great jump shooter. That's the only thing I have against Scottie. But if you put the right people around him, LeBron wasn't a great jump shooter, but look what LeBron was able to do. Scottie Pippen, lockdown defender, ran the floor well. Could score around the basket. Fast break guy, man. I mean, you can count on him. Half court, that's questionable because on the half court, it wasn't like he was doing all kinds of creating other than, being able to take it to the basket.
I think that's my point.
He could go by guys. He had a first step that could go right by guys. Yeah, and he was a rebounder. If you look at his stat sheet, the man averaged probably about 6 or 7 assists, about 6 or 7 rebounds, 17, 18 points. You tell me.
I think
is that a first ballot Hall of Fame or not?
I think you make my point though.
If he was on the team without Michael Jordan, where Michael wasn't as dominant in terms of scoring, maybe he would have added a few more points to Scottie Pippen's numbers.
I think that you make my point because I think that, and I'm gonna close out with this. I think that when you're dealing with perimeter basketball, perimeter players, right? It's about. I feel like when I'm thinking first ballot, I'm thinking about guys who are just amazing at creating their own, right? Like the Michael Jordans of the world, right? Creating their own. And what you just kind of said to me, you make my point in saying you saw him in that space with MJ where he didn't already have to really create his own a lot, right? It was more so he can pick his spots and that sort of thing. And there was some limitations in terms of just him as a playmaker, just on his own. And so I think for me that's why it's hard for me to say with no MJ.
But you never even know. Even if he didn't have MJ, he may have developed into more of a leader because he didn't have MJ.
Right.
So you're moving somebody like MJ out the way and allowing this guy to, expand his ability and his leadership, and that could have been a possibility to help his game even go to another level. We never know. This is just a question he's throwing out. Don't know where he came up with the question, y'all. But he came up with
it came out from a conversation that I had, a debate that I was having with my father-in-law and one of his buddies. His buddy was kind of taking your stance even to the 10th degree. Me and my father-in-law pretty much saying, don't think so. Don't think he's the first ballot Hall of Famer without MJ attached to him. So,
okay.
See what you guys think too.